Kelly Owbridge-Tasker is a Senior Estates Manager for the NHS Property Services Midlands, who has worked in commercial property since she was 16. Kelly spoke to ThisWeekinFM about her career story and her passion for the relationship between people and the built environment. Please introduce yourself and tell us about your career history and highlights.
I'm Kelly Owbridge-Tasker. I am currently a Senior Estates Manager within NHS Property Services. I've been in property since I was 16 years old. Now I am nearly 50, so a long time. I left school at 15 with no qualifications whatsoever, and 2 weeks later my mum said, if you don't go and get a job you're going to go back to school, which I was not going to do that. So I walked down a high street full of estate agents, and one of them said, we can pay you £4,000 a year to make tea. So I said, I'll do it. And then from then on I just learnt the industry, the business. I loved property. I just really worked through the ranks, got headhunted, owned my own property company. I think some of the highlights, there's so many, to be honest with you. I think, going into law, having a managing director really see the gold in me and champion me, and help me go through learning all about law and picking up law and doing a legal qualification, really set me in good stead considering I had no qualifications from school. And I just continued from there really. I had my own business in property for 17 years. Had a fabulous team around me, and then accidentally fell into FM sort of later in my career, and it's just gone on from there really. So I think the highlight is really just learning what property does for people for me. There's no just one highlight. I love that, property really sort of facilitates so much in people's lives.
What do you enjoy most about working in the FM sector?
I really just love the seesaw between, the operational excellence and, the relationship between driving change, balancing it with the financial aspect. And again, like I've mentioned previously about how it really facilitates change in people's lives, whether it be a hospital in the marvellous Midlands, where I am, or whether it be, a tier 1 or tier 3 office building, let's say. So, whether it be a commercial, industrial warehouse, everything that we do really has an impact in people's lives. So that really is one of the key things for me about FM. And being RICS, I just love the relationship between bricks and people, and being able to really be involved in both sides of it. So love leading people in FM, but also, rolling my sleeves up, get my hands dirty, and going and learning about mechanical engineering in areas that, are not my skill set.
You're passionate about the psychological safety in the built environment. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, I love psychological safety anyway. I think, that if people can be their authentic selves, whether they're at work or wherever they are, I feel like they can be fulfilled in what they're doing. And, if people can be 100% authentic, it's something that really filters through to the company, themselves, and for us in the healthcare environment, the patients. Our front line are effectively the face of our hospitals. So, if they can feel nurtured and loved and watered and developed and grown, within that environment, then, they'll be much happier doing their jobs. So, it's not just about the psychological safety element. It's also looking about, diversity and inclusion, and looking at, the lighting, the space. Do we need safe spaces? Do we need soft rooms? Do we need quiet spaces? Do we need to take into account people's religion and, different things like that? So it's trying to find a real even balance and, again, the right, flower pot for somebody to grow in. And I love that. I love people, and that's something that really excites me when I talk about people, and that's the kind of leader, I want to be.
What's the marriage between the built environment and healthcare?
So I like to call it a marriage because I really feel like it's a relationship. So it's not just FM. I mean, FM is amazing, but healthcare, it's just that extra layer. It's that extra, expectation of infection control, and the standards are set higher. It's about lives, and we really look after people from cradle to grave. We provide the relationship of birthing suites for babies being born, and the safe spaces of clean water, and, the whole compliance around making sure things are tested and everything's safe, all the way through to palliative care, so the grave, making sure that those environments are warm, friendly, empathetic, for people to spend private time with their loved ones, and then everything in between, with spaces for clinicians to be able to see, particularly in Lincolnshire, men who have statistically got extremely high rates of suicide. And, one day they could walk into one of our health centres or our hospitals and decide not to commit suicide that day because the clinician can provide that facility and that space for them to go and, unload or seek the needs that they require. Looking at things like the ramps and the access for, disability. That marriage of knowing that actually the doctors of people can do their job because the doctors of property are doing their job, and that is so important in our healthcare system and across the whole country. We do it as a country so well. We may not get it all right, but we do get it well, and we strive to make it better every single day.
What's next for you professionally?
Gosh, that's a really good question. I absolutely love NHS Property Services. I love what we do. I believe in our corporate strategy. I believe, what we stand for, the ethics, the morals of the company, our leadership team. Genuinely, I love who they are, and obviously I'd like to progress. So I would love to think that it would be in PS, but you never know what's around the corner, do you? So, we'll see.